Another media type you might want to work with inside of your Edge compositions is video. However, in the interface, we can't actually work with video and audio by importing them into our project. However, we can inject HTML for those media types and use the code window to inject that HTML into our elements. Now inside of the Edge interface, over here in the library panel, I can see the assets, the images directory, and our background graphic. Now to inject our video into our project, I first want to create a container. So let's come over here to the rectangle tool up in the tools panel. I'm going to click and drag. Once I have a box on the stage, I'm going to come over to the height and width settings inside of the properties panel. I'm going to set this to 400 pixels wide by 250 pixels tall. That's the size of our MPEG-4 video. I'll position this in place. And with this selected on the stage, let's come down to the timeline panel. Let's activate the toggle pin. We'll drag this out to 1 second. Let's come up to the properties panel. Let's move the opacity down. Hit the spacebar to preview this. Then I'll grab this and drag this out to the 1 second mark. Now I'll bring the timeline panel back to the beginning. I'll turn off the toggle pin. And what I want to do here is insert a timeline trigger. So let's come down to the actions panel. Let's click insert trigger. Now the first thing I need to do here is target that element. And I can see that it's still selected on the stage. And I can see the name of the instance is called rectangle. So I'm going to come down here into the code snippets. We're going to click on get element. And the element we're going to get is going to be rectangle. So now what this does is it creates a variable named element, and the value of that is symbol $rectangle. So let's come in here and copy the name element. Set a few returns. Let's paste that. And now we're going to use jQuery to inject the HTML that we want to have inside of that element. So after element, we're going to type .html, beginning and ending parenthesis, semicolon. Inside of the HTML element, 2 tick marks for a string literal. I'm going to type a video tag, and then end the video tag. Next, I'm going to get my cursor inside of the beginning video tag. Let's hit a space and add some attributes in here. So we need to add the HTML5 video attributes. And we're going to start with width equals 2 quotes, 400, then a space. We're going to set height equal to 2 quotes, 250. And now one thing that Edge Animate doesn't support right now is line wrapping. So instead of having this line get really long, we're going to use a JavaScript trick. I'm going to hit a return here, and once we have some malformed JavaScript, Edge is going to highlight that in orange. I'm going to bring my cursor back on the line before it. I'm going to hit a space and then a backslash. What this backslash does is it escapes the return character so that we can create a multi-line JavaScript but only inject 1 line of code. And we're doing that so we can see more of our script inside of this dialog box. So now we'll hit another return, another /. I'll get my cursor in front of the / and hit a space. Next, we'll set the source for the video. src equals 2 quotes. Inside of the quotes, we'll type video / so that we can go into the video directory that we know is part of our project. Then we'll type winecountry.mp4. After the quotes for that attribute, let's hit a space. We'll type poster equals 2 quotes. Let's come back here and copy video / winecountry.jpg. Let's get our cursor at the end of the line. Let's hit a return, another backslash, add a space before that. Let's add type equals 2 quotes, then video / mp4. And now the last attribute we'll add is to turn on the controls. So after the type attribute, hit a space. So we'll set controls equal to 2 quotes, then controls again inside the quotes. Now with all of our markup in place, let's close our code window and let's preview this in a browser. So as you can see, by using HTML injection techniques built into Edge Animate through jQuery, you can inject any HTML into any elements, and even if something's not available inside of Edge's interface, you can still inject that code and use it in your compositions.